You have to, at some point, live a lonely life, because there is a season between separating yourself from the losers and the people swimming in the sea of mediocrity, and then finding a new network of high achievers, ambitious people who are driven and success-minded. There is a moment in time, that moment may be months, where you're like, fuck man, this is pretty lonely. This journey of self-development, of fitness, growth, of financial growth is pretty lonely, because I cut out all these people out of my life, but I don't have a new tribe to belong to of people who are like-minded like me. And that's where chance is. But I was like, bro, do not feel bad about it whatsoever, that you need to feel obligated to go and talk to these people. And that's what I want to share with you. Y'all don't have to be obligated to talk to people who you don't want to talk to, that are a waste of time and energy, that aren't on the same page as you, that don't have the same growth trajectory and plans as you. I'm not saying you should be a fucking asshole to them. I'm not saying you should be a jerk to them. I am not saying that you should let them know that you're an elitist and you're a much better human than them, and they're not. But the bottom line is, you and them are not cut from the same cloth. You are not on the same mission. You have flipped a switch. You have decided that I'm going to be a better human. I'm going to be a better man, a better woman. I'm going to be a better entrepreneur. I'm going to be a better mother. I'm going to be a better spouse. I'm going to be a better leader. And what are they? They're still binge watching television. They're still goofing off on social media. They're still wasting and killing time. They're still in massive debt. They look like fat, sloppy fucking turds. Y'all don't even fucking jive and vibe on the same energy. Like, why would you think that you should have some level of obligation to still connect with them, hang out with them, watch fucking football with them on weekends, hang out with them on Thanksgiving? You don't need to. And the moment you realize that you are not obligated to hang out with low-level, low-intelligence people, what I call peasants. And I know this because I was a peasant. I lived the peasant life. I was the guy that was like, hey man, let's just do the bare minimum to pay our bills, to get by. And the rest of the time, let's just fuck around. Let's just fuck around. Let's live a little, right? Chance and Bree are like, hey, no, we're not going to do that anymore. Like, we are locked in. But there's a sense of guilt and the sense of like, should I be having a more balanced life where I'm able to hang out with these people and do some small talk because I don't like it? I'm like, nah, bro, you don't have to do any of that stuff. And that's what I want to stress to you, because if you really want to succeed, you have to be able to lock in on your vision. And it takes so much more work and lift than you're used to. You can't just all of a sudden go from being a savage during the week to being this peasant-minded, average, mediocre person who overdrinks, overeats, underworks out, undersleeps, fucking vapes and smokes weed and binge watches television on the weekends, and then think that somehow Monday's gonna come and you're gonna kill it, bro. You're not. You're not. That's the facts. If you truly want to separate yourself from the losers in life, you have to be very deliberate and intentional about it. You have to get to a place of being absolutely disgusted with the way they live and operate, which is probably the way you lived and operated before. I know I am. I will literally have this visceral, physical reaction when I see people living to lower standards, lower self-expectations, playing small, because I'm reminded of who I used to be, and I don't even want to fucking remember that guy. That version of me is dead. That version of me does not exist. That version of me has been put to rest for life. And I want to share that with you because you have to be willing to make the moves where you create distance between you and them. Now, I'm not saying call every single one of these people who are playing small in their lives and they're not on the same path and trajectory as you and say, hey man, you're a loser, I'm an elitist, you're a peasant, so fuck off. I'm not saying that. But what I am telling you is you got to slowly start separating yourself. You've got to slowly stop sending back those text messages and going to those invitations of goofy things that, you know, overconsumption of alcohol and food and television and gossiping and rumors and wasting time, and then realizing like I fucking did nothing productive here. I did nothing. I am not a fucking worthy person to be able to live here. Like, what is your self-worth? My self-worth comes from achievement. My self-worth comes from creating. My self-worth comes from overcoming the hard things in my life that allow me to make more money and stay in shape and provide for my kids and take care of my employees and my teams. My self-worth comes from like having this vision in my mind's eye of what this fucking immigrant wants from this world, and then literally unfolding the game plan and achieving it. on the days that I used to fucking goof off on the weekends, or I used to take shortcuts, or just did enough to get by, but not enough to meet my own self-standards and expectations, those days I would feel like shit. And so why would you want to actively hang out with people who have low standards, who have low expectations of themselves, who don't hold themselves to the same level of discipline that you do? I mean, we've all heard that you're a byproduct of the people that you hang out with the most. You think like you're so mentally tough that you're like, no, but not me. I could somehow hang out with losers but still be a winner. That's not true, man. That's not true. They will have some emotional impact on you. They will have mental impact on you. They will somehow have wear and tear on your mind. I stopped going to weddings. I stopped going to fucking funerals. I stopped going to birthday parties. I stopped going to fucking Super Bowl parties. Like, those are all, like, why am I going to go root for a team that I don't even fucking own? Why do people wear fucking jerseys with another man's name on the back and another man's number on the back? Like, why do you know the stats of this athlete and that football team and that basketball team and that baseball team when you don't even know the stats of your own fucking business? You don't know what the ROAS is. You don't know what your profit margins are. You don't know how much revenue you made last month. You haven't even generated a fucking profit and loss report in fucking quarters, maybe ever. Yet you know the stats of the Kardashians, who's arguing with who and who's doing what and who broke up with who. Shut the fuck up, please. Like, are you fucking serious? Do you really think that doing low-level, low-minded things are going to get you there? It's not. What really creates success is being very militant, being very intentional, being very extreme. I don't know any one person who has achieved a high level of greatness physically, mentally, financially, relationally, without going all in and being extreme on it, being fanatical on it, right? And you're like, yeah, but what if, what could do? Shut the fuck up. What if, what are you going to do? Slow down on the weekends, break your momentum so that on Monday and Tuesday, the busiest days of your life in business, you're going to like rebuild momentum again? If you slow down every fucking weekend to party and live a little, only to then break momentum and have to start recreating momentum on a Monday and a Tuesday, after a year, that's 52 weeks you missed out on having fucking great momentum on a Monday and a Tuesday that would carry you on into the rest of the week. Do you know how far apart we would be? How much further ahead of you I would be because of that? And so that's what it really takes. You have to give no fucks about anything else around you. Like, no one else wants to tell you this truth. Like, you look into the lives of the people that you admire. Like, think of all the people that you're following. Every person that you're following who's a motivational speaker, a high-level entrepreneur, someone who gives back to their communities. Like, I'm talking like massively gives back to their communities, like employs a lot of people, makes a lot of money, is an asset to humanity, is a great speaker, orator. They articulate, they fill up stadiums, they fill up fucking ballrooms. These are people who are massively extreme. These are people that have zero tolerance for gossip, for small talk, for fucking things that are not within their wheelhouse. I'm not going to do anything other than focus on the things that I value the most. My health, my family, my business, the people that I love. That's it. What else is there? How much more time do I have? Any other time is going to be dedicated to my own personal growth. And so you have to be able to learn to lock in, my friends. You have to be able to learn to be extreme. You have to be able to learn to go all in. The system, the opposition, wants you to accept mediocrity. They want you to stay average. They want you to be in debt. They want you to be dependent. They want you to slow down and vice yourself and addict yourself to alcohol and drugs and food. They want you to live a little and have fun. What's wrong with a little bit of alcohol? I'll tell you what's wrong with a little of alcohol. It's fucking poison. I don't care how little alcohol you have. Oh, I like the taste of bourbon. You've never tasted double malt scotch. Shut the fuck up with your fucking, I do it for the taste, or you've never had good red wine with steak. Guess what, motherfucker? It's still poison. It will still cost you physically and mentally over the long haul. There's enough studies that show that that poison over the long haul will dull out your senses, your cognitive abilities, your memory, increases the chances of dementia, no matter how little of this poison that you have. So how effective is living a little? Like, how effective is going to a fucking weekend football game watching party and diving into this game, eating a 7-layer dip, stuffing yourself with fucking Tostitos or whatever the fuck you weirdos eat, only to fucking feel like shit later, to have no energy, feel like a sloth, and then come Monday, what are you? You're anxious, you're depressed, you're overwhelmed, I don't know what to do. Why? Because you broke momentum, my friend. You broke momentum. You had this amazing inertia that you had built up all week long, and then you're like, fuck it, it's Friday, let's live a little. I'm not saying don't have downtime, but structure your downtime where you still feel like you have some level of momentum, that you're still growing in your business, in your personal development, in your fitness. Like, why should you have to sacrifice sleep on a weekend, knowing that you're built differently? You are on a mission. Now, listen, if you're listening to this and you're like, look, I don't want to be an entrepreneur. I don't care about being fit and healthy. I don't care about having high levels of self-mastery and personal development. I don't care about emotional discipline. Quite frankly, I love being a emotionally reckless human being that's unpredictable and broke and dependent on the system. And quite honestly, I love the fact that I live in a hovel and, it's kind of a ghetto part of the community that I live, and I have to watch my back. But you know what? I enjoy the lifestyle that I have. Cool, man. Then just keep watching my shit, listening to my shit, and make no other changes. But if you're that person that's like, man, I'm going to flip the switch, I'm going to create this separation season for myself, I'm telling you, it is absolutely okay to start distancing yourself from the people and the things that do not serve your end goal. And if your end goal is to make more money, to be a great example to your kids of humanity, to be able to live fit and healthy and athletically, to be able to have financial freedom, and to have peace of mind and mental emotional toughness, that requires so much work that you have to separate yourself from the losers, period.